I'm David Kain, and welcome to another interview on Kain Digital Talks. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Pete Peterson, who's the CEO and managing partner of a company called Dealers United. You may or may not have heard of Dealers United, but after today, you can't unlearn what you're going to pick up today from Pete. So, Pete, would you do us a favor and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what Dealers United does?
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, David. Really appreciate it. Been following you guys for a long time. Really great to hook up again here. So Dealers United is a full service marketing agency for Facebook and Instagram advertising. That's all we do currently is just Facebook and Instagram ads. We don't do social posting. We don't just do things organically. We do things to get results and solve real dealer challenges using ads. And so we measure full funnel from click to conversion and sale. And it really brings a great story to light so dealers know it's actually working, right? So I'm Pete Peterson, CEO over here at Dealers United and managing partner. Working for the past 4 to 5 years exclusively with Facebook to become one of the leaders in their space. And happy to report we still continue to test, learn, iterate, and every single day it's a new challenge that's out there, which makes it fun, but also frustrating along the way. But we look to make things easy and take the pain out of it, making sure that dealers can focus on doing what they do well, and we just help them with customer acquisition or solving other dealer challenges as they go on.
Okay, good. Well, so first off, I want to tell you, Ron Everson, who is a member of our Digital Marketing Managers 20 group, he's really grounded in some of the details of how to do this. And the Garber Automotive Group has 59 rooftops. And so they do a lot of the work themselves, and they built a lot of complexity around how they will set up their advertising. But he did a presentation for other members of our digital marketing group, and there's 19 other members in the group, and they were like, okay, that's good. That's really complicated. How do we do it? Who would you recommend? So he taught everybody how to do it. Then once everybody got exposed to it, looked at their day jobs, and they said, wow, we don't really have time to do this. Who would you recommend? And he said, definitely Dealers United. So tell us a little bit about, just from the fundamentals, how do you all take the pain away so that the dealer doesn't have to do it themselves? And what would that relationship really look like?
Yeah, thanks. Obviously, Facebook tried to create a platform that is self-servicing. So if you're set up and you have the education and you have the time, then you obviously can go buy your own media. A lot of people are like, well, I could just do this on my own. And that's true, right? But there's a lot of technical difficulties too. And so at the end of the day, it comes into, you're paying for knowledge, right? Speed to markets is the key. Time kills all deals, I always say. And so your job is to focus on running and operating a business mostly. Facebook's just one fraction of that, but it's a huge piece of the market of reaching a buyer. So not wasting ad dollars, not wasting execution time, being able to craft your message to connect with their consumers. At the end of the day, it's different than Google. It's different than Snapchat. It's different than other mediums that are out there. And it's really about understanding what you should be doing, what's effective, what's working for other dealers. And ultimately, I say hidden the cheat codes, right? So what we do is we've worked with thousands of dealers. We actually have a platform we've created. It's a white label platform for a lot of our competition as well. So we see a lot of data on Facebook, and there's over 100 resellers using our platform with over 7,000 rooftops under management. So we probably have the largest data set on Facebook ads and what should be expected. And the first thing we really do is sit down and understand what's standard of excellence, what's good for a lead, what's good for a cost per sale, what's good for a click, and educating around that, right? Because not all clicks are created equal, not all leads are created equal. I'm sure you've seen people with high close ratios off of internet sales and low close ratios off of internet sales. Our whole goal is to help bring the right type of shoppers in the door, not just about lead generation for $1 a piece and wasting time in the BDC, unless you have a huge BDC and that's what you're trying to do is just generate activity. So not all things are created equal, but the fact is that it's all about saving time. It's all about reducing your expenses by not wasting and increasing your revenue by proving that it's working and expanding your budget, right? I want you to spend more money, not because we get paid a percentage of ad revenue. We don't work on a percentage model. We're a fixed rate and we work on behalf of the dealership. So it's really there to help you drive and maximize that market, not just check the box and say, oh, I'm on Facebook, right? So again, you could do it on your own, but people come to us because they want the expert that can go, put the dart right in the middle of the bullseye.
Okay, so let's go through kind of the spectrum of growth through Facebook, just to kind of give us a historical perspective, because you and I both know it all started out with dealers putting their dealership picture on Facebook, and then finally somebody said it's Facebook. It's not really about the dealership picture, but dealerships really have been able to grow into what this relationship was like. And early on, it was how many likes do I get, how much engagement and such. But now it's the Facebook marketplace and actually displaying merchandise and the like. Could you kind of walk us through historically, say maybe over the last 5 to 7 years of Facebook's growth pattern, and why nowadays it's actually competing step for step with search engine marketing and the like?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. It has evolved immensely. And I don't even know if the market had quite picked up on what Facebook did, right? It was all about organic. And you look at someone like Coca-Cola, who put Facebook on every single thing, for contests, like our page. And the whole goal there was you can connect with your community. Coca-Cola didn't know their end buyer, right? They would sell through stores and, like Publix and distribution centers like that. And then their customers would come in and buy. So it was a way for them to engage their direct consumers and get feedback and post things of what they liked. And it was about likes, comments, and shares. But Facebook realized they had to make money, right? And that's where the ad product came in. Facebook, and if you ever heard the Mark Zuckerberg congressional hearing, he's like, how do you make money? Well, we sell ads, Mr. Congressman or Mrs. Congressman, right? But they also had to create other experiences that are organic as well. So pages are still very important. Inside your page tab, you can have a vehicles tab now that's powered off the same inventory off of Facebook Marketplace. So when you think about Facebook and almost all platforms, right? Bing, Google, all of these guys, there's an organic side of things, which is like, you don't have to pay for it, right? Google My Business right now, think about that. You go in, and if you put time in and you put your photos in and you fill out description, you're going to show up organically. You don't pay when someone engages with your Google My Business. But if you want to show up when someone types in dealer near me, you've got to, pay for that keyword, because that's going to trigger you to the top of the results. Now, hopefully you show up organically as well. Facebook's the same way. So there's certain products that are free, and Marketplace is free. Like Marketplace does not charge any provider. I could tell you that, we don't get charged. No one else does. That's why we bundle it in our services. We just give it free of charge. You can call someone like us and they'll charge you for Marketplace, because they're basically charging you to pull your inventory, work with your inventory provider, deal with all the technical setup that's there. It's not about posting the Marketplace. That's one organic post of it, right? And then you're probably dealing with people to deal with your reputation, your comments, your organic posts. But if you've ever noticed, the only people that ever comment or like your photos that the dealer is posting is your dealer employees, probably your wife if you're a dealer, a dealer principal, your wife's liking everything on there, right? And so at the end of the day, how do you reach people that are local, ready to buy, and you can influence right now? And that's where the ad product comes in, because you can target people that are local. You can put an ad right in front of that same person that's scrolling down their newsfeed that sees their kids' babies and their family photos and everything else. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're a local shopper. I could put an ad in front of you, which makes it highly relevant and targeted, right? So that's where you really can inject yourself in the conversation. Just like you can inject yourself in someone typing in dealer near me. When someone does that, you can inject by proactively determining someone is shopping for a vehicle based on all the indicators, right? They visited Marketplace. They might be interacting with your competitors' ads. They might be on Auto Trader or Edmunds. Facebook can see all of that stuff, right? And so that they're automatically like behind the scenes saying, oh, David Kain looks like he's shopping for a new Mustang, right? And we should put him in a Mustang bucket. Allows us to target you with Mustangs at that point.
You bet. And I know that you really actually meant to say that the dealership principal's husband sometimes likes.
Well, there you go too. Yeah,
those, because we certainly, and you certainly know this better than me because of your interactions with so many dealers, but it is amazing when you look at Instagram and the growth of female general managers, dealer principals, and the like. Instagram in particular as a side product, and I don't know the growth of Instagram versus Facebook, but most of it is pictures and more of a very quick look. What's the difference between the two? And if you get one, do you get both? And could you explain a little bit to that?
Yeah. So the best part about Facebook is when you buy on Facebook, you're buying across a lot of different networks. So they own Instagram, right? Facebook owns Instagram. They also own a company called WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is not really big in the United States, but it's real big overseas. It's pretty much the way that people get on the internet and do commerce, right? So they bought that. They also own what's called the audience network. So just like Google has its audience network powering ads, Facebook has its own audience network powering things like Spotify ads and Pandora and other integrations that are there. And then they've got obviously marketplace inside of Facebook. So people think of that as a whole nother property. It's really not. So you've got, and then the big one that Facebook's really like bringing up right now is Messenger, right? So this communication that's on there, you use it when you're in marketplace, you're communicating, all those become placements for you to get your ad in front of someone. So for us, we don't care which product they're using, as long as they're using a Facebook product, which is, about 86% of America logs into some kind of Facebook property on a daily basis, and they scroll over the entire length of the Statue of Liberty every single day. So if you think that's 300 feet of page scrolling going through with their finger, it's nuts. And the best part is demographically focused. You can target, anybody that's local based on if they're interested in a vehicle or they're just interested in certain lifestyles. So again, someone that's into boating, you might want to put in an F-150 pulling a boat and a picture to connect with that person to get that in front of there. And then the last part is, obviously getting the dealer message. So, it's all about who's running the dealership. It's about connecting, building those personal connections. And one thing I love about Facebook is you can build real trust online with them. I call it becoming Instagram or Facebook famous. We've all seen it, right? Like you're going through and you get all of a sudden there's just someone that's always on your Facebook feed. You're like, how do I even know about this person? So being a local celebrity, you can be that influencer as a dealer, whether you're a male or female or you're young or old, it doesn't matter. We try to get as many of our dealership employees interacting in there, and we build certain types of ads. We call it bring your own video. So we actually train dealers on the type of video, how they should shoot it, what the best practices are, vertical versus horizontal, 15-second, we help add all of that. So it's really about building those human connections, right? And treating the online Facebook side just like you would as an in-store customer and bringing digital conversations to them and not just having one single ad that's just running to everybody.
So I like that because that collaborative approach where you're actually using the organic nature of the employees and the things that are going on at the dealership, coupled with what you all bring, the scientific overlay and the elements of execution and stuff, I think that works really, really well. Out of curiosity, you mentioned the messaging and such. One of the things that we teach and our focal point, as you know, Pete, is all about the processes and communication tactics. But with respect to Facebook messaging, one of the things that we're trying to emphasize at the dealership is let's interact as though this is the new phone call and not delay this. This is someone who, even though they're on Facebook, this is normal for them and they're buying things and conducting commerce on Facebook. What's your opinion on messaging as a platform for communications at the dealership level, either through internet salespeople, floor salespeople, or perhaps BDC agents?
Yeah. So I'll reference Bobby Sight, who is founder of Rob Sight Ford. His father founded it, and a multi-generation dealer. And he goes, Pete, the dealer has not changed over 100 years in terms of like our need of communicating, right? Like people come to us because we have the answers. We hold the information a lot of ways. We can help people through those complex buying choices, but where the conversations happening are different now, right? They're the same questions. They're just happening in different spots. And I think you're going to see more of that as some of these new laws are coming out, and Facebook's going to be forced to hold more people on Facebook, like Snapchat. And I think it's going to be like an auto trader model where, people don't really lead auto trader. They go there, they submit stuff. We all have to get comfortable with it's a bidirectional communication. So wherever we have a chance to have a conversation, whether it's through text means, visual means like we're doing here on a Zoom, or whether it's face to face, these are all ways that we can bidirectionally have conversations. And so I think we have to embrace the fact that where they have their entry point is where we need to meet them, and we need to respond to them there, not saying, hey, you want me here. It's like someone answering the phone and being like, hold on, can I get your phone number so I can text message you? Or I'm going to leave you a voicemail. Let me just call you and leave voicemail voicemails and we'll go back and forth that way.
Yeah.
Or let me send you an email. They're calling you because they want to talk to you. They're
Yes.
texting you because they want to text you. They're emailing you because they want to email you, And so, yes, we want to have training to kind of break the customer over to how we want the process. But the fact is these are consumers. They have questions. They want to be treated with great customer experience. And I think you're seeing that the people that adapted with COVID to, doorstep delivery and pick up outside, and they met the customer where the customer wanted to trade their dollars, they're winning. The ones that made it hard are making it very difficult, and they're not winning, and they're probably out of business. So I think that's a big key that we look at across everything that's about to happen. The landscape is shifting. As long as you have a way to communicate with that customer, you should be honored that you have that bi-directional, and you should really focus on serving that customer in that medium until you can't. And think about Messenger, which I love, is first it's bi-directional. You get their first name and last name. So it's like having their caller ID right on there. You're able to reply back. You can hook things in. Like for us, we have inventory being fed in there, so we could push inventory out. We could do all sorts of really cool things in Messenger. We even have bots for it. But it's there to aid, not replace the human experience. It's there to help with like slowing the customer down for a second while we get an employee ready at the helm, right? But the fact is you should have those conversations. They're going to be start-stop. People are not. It's just like text message. When you're texting, we text. And then I was on vacation when you were texting me last week, David, and you texted me and I got back to you initially, but I was at dinner. So I just wanted to let you know, hey, I'm in. And then you had a question. I waited like an hour and then I hit you back, right? It wasn't that I wasn't interested. It was just, it wasn't the right time for me to have that conversation. And so we picked right back up, and that's the way Messenger is. People are like, well, they're not just continuing to talk. That's not normal in any type of like kind of text message chat.
Yeah, it's so cool. And, I think we're just at the cusp of where this is going to eventually evolve to. Additionally, the cost per vehicle sold, when we do the metrics for our clients, the Facebook and social platforms are way less expensive than some of the other activities. And I know you all work with your clients to facilitate those kind of metrics, to look at the financial aspects of it and the like. So Pete, I can't thank you enough for spending some time. Obviously, there's so much more we could cover, but good orientation for what Dealers United can do for our clients and for the dealer population out there who's watching this video. So how would they get back with Dealers United and facilitate more interaction with you guys?
Yeah, dealersunited.com is going to be the easiest way to kind of go through. We have online demos. If someone doesn't want to talk to our team, they can just literally watch what we do. We're really not like a very sales driven company, but if you want to call, because that's your thing, 941-366-6760. It's also on the website. But just recommend reaching out to us, and we'll go through an audit, help you understand what your options are. And it's really about trying to find what your dealer challenges are and solving for them, whether it's getting new inventory on the ground and getting lease pull aheads, or buybacks right now with what's going on with new car inventory replenishment, or it's truly just to push more service revenue, more sales revenue. We work to identify those different challenges with you, and then help plug those gaps and continue meeting what you need to do at a dealership level and making it simple for you. So we really appreciate your time today.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Pete. And look forward to keeping the conversation going.
Absolutely.
We'll
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you, guys.